AA Productions, Eliminated Games. The Next World. And welcome to Green&Blue Walkthrough's gameplay video of The Next World. I'm Wine, and today we got something that's a little easier to describe, and that is a sci-fi visual novel. If you don't like visual novels, you turn away before you get too interested in this thing. A visual novel is also a simulator game, a turn-based simulator game, simulating you building a colony on some random planet that's actually randomized. But the story is more or less fixed. I believe it's multiple endings, but it is a fixed visual novel story, and then the actual gameplay is actually randomized, which is pretty cool. I've been looking for a game like this for a long time. A good planet survival game. They're kind of rare. I think they're not kind of rare. There's like, what, 34 of them that came out in like the last year? Not just saying 2016, of course, because it's been only going on for 3 months, so, I mean, the last 2016, by the last year, I mean 2016 and also 2015. So yeah, but those games, not too bad, but they're not randomized, therefore not great. I'm looking for a randomized planet survival game. I could just, get RimWorld, but that's no fun. Because RimWorld's way too close to, Stonehearth, so I just have Stonehearth. But anyway, so I decided to get the Next World a shot, and that's what we're here doing. That's what we're here today, and today is March 7th, 2016. This is when this game was released, and also it was released for the price of $12.09. However, like almost always, because that's not necessarily true, there's a launch week discount, and it's discounted by 20% for $10.39. Again, it's US currency. So yeah. Well, I think we're ready to go. I don't know much about this game. I've been looking at it. Well, I've been waiting. I've seen it in Steam Upcoming and had it to my friends, add to my friends list, and to my wish list. Again, for a couple of months, and you can never really know with Steam Upcoming whether or not it's going to come out when it says it. Well, which this game never said it was going to. This game gave like a generalization, like maybe the second quarter of 2016, or was it spring of 2016, or was it just March of 2016? I forgot which, but yeah, but basically it changed to March 7th, and today's that day, and it's out. Alright, here's the options. As you can see, you got music volume, sound volume, full screen, translation, speech setting, speech sounds. I think that means people go blah 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 when they try talking, and then get transitions. I guess that makes the coolest swiping transitions that you find in Star Wars prequels. And then you got text speed, all forward speed, and as you can see, nothing else. Although the game isn't, what, 1080p? I think it's a visual novel, so visual novels always don't have that much, in terms of settings, mainly because they don't need to, because it's fixed art. There's nothing to render. Therefore, there is no sense of having shadow rendering and all that, so yeah. Alright, and you gotta say load, and that's about it. Alright, we're good. All ready to go, because I'm not used to going through these introductions pretty quickly, but today's that day. Alright, let's go. Start. Also, you got that thing being your tooltip. And also, you got the very nice to see patch notes. Now, when this game first released, it actually was released as the press release, and some awareness somewhere would say pre-release, and they had to remove that. So the first update today, or for the first update today would be this, and also that. So yeah, let's go. What do we got? Nice art. Not bad. Has its own little thing going on. Proximity warning. Exit AO now online. Firing engines. Colonist 1,500. That's loud. Engines unresponsive. Orbit unrecoverable. Firing out attitude thrusters. Uh-oh. It's not good. This is unresponsive. Command system reboot. You better hurry. Reboot ineffective. Contact in 20 seconds. Oh, great. Crew in immediate danger. Emergency override. Launch all pods. Contact 10 seconds. Make on this 407. Guidance failure. Switching pods. Local control. Contact in 5 seconds. On this 180, and there goes the ship. Oh, great. All pods launched. On this 1104. Dot, dot, dot. Or just dot, dot. Contact. Here goes our ship. Minus 1 second. Losing outer hull. On this 896. Minus 2 seconds. Losing inner hull bulkheads. Cryostasis recovery protocol activated. Colonist 874. Contact minus 3 seconds. S-base survival rate 43%. I got this. I don't know why I got this. Colonist 820. Contact 5 seconds. Bridge taking critical damage. Oh great, we need that. Dot. Colonist 758. Goodbye. Sorry, ship. I should have tried hard to win. Maybe you should have tried hard to win. Not quite sure. Oh, great. A groggy, rushed awakening from cryosleep was bad enough. Being tossed around on emergency thrusters has left any survivors in your life pod bruised, battered, and bloody. Oh. On the other side of the pod's viewport, the colony ship Exodus, your only mode of transport, burns merely in the distance. Pieces of it lay strewn across the barren landscape, along with a string of other light pods and cargo containers. Some have landed safely, others plowed headlong into the ground or shaken into pieces on a violent descent. You can make out the limp shapes of bodies laying in the dirt. Would there just so happen to be oxygen on this planet? Conditions are much better on the inside. The light pod's central chamber is black with smoke, and the overwhelming stench of burning plastic makes the air hard to breathe. I mean, well, sparks pour from several busted systems where circuit boards have simply blown out. Half of everything in the pod seems to be offline. Fantastic. Sheen. What the heck? It doesn't say heck, by the way. Yes, when I talk, I don't say many words. That is one of them. Well, as you know, if it's not in context or if it's not a description of a certain weapon. Sheen. Or Shen. Is it Shen or Sheen? Why are we landing? Lucy, your guess is as good as mine. This isn't Talion. There's no planet like this anywhere near the course I charted. Grrr, we were pushed off. It seems like we were pushed off course towards this planet. Or maybe this is just a planet that likes gobbling up stuff. The Bermuda Triangle planet, if you will. Lucy, all I know is we have to deal with the smoke before we suffocate. Yeah. And someone needs to check out the Captain Shing and the pilot. Well, if we get rid of the smoke, we can, I mean, if they're at risk of dying right now, as in if they're critically injured and they need first aid if they need first aid applied immediately, or else they will die instantly. Well, that'd be bad. But let's check on them first. However, the smoke will kill us before it will kill them, or before they will die. So we gotta get rid of the smoke first. I know a good idea. Save. Quick save complete. Oh, is there normal? Are there no normal saves? Ah, there are indeed. Okay, I gotta get. Wow, this system's like kind of. Sure. How many of these do we have, or do we have as many as we will ever want, as long as the hard drive, as long as the hard drive will allow it? Yeah. I mean, although you can only see one at a time, which is weird. Usually, visual novels have a list of saves which you can check. So, return. Okay, let's get rid of the smoke. Shin grabs a fire extinguisher to put off to. Let's try that again. Shin grabs a fire extinguisher to put out the small electrical fires crackling amongst the remains of the rattered and overloaded machinery, while Lucy works to get the emergency oxygen scrubbers online. They engage with a loud thump, and the room soon clears. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We were going to die from smoke inhalation, or the fires would get worse, or the oxygen would just get consumed by the fire, and then we'll be left with carbon dioxide. So yeah, the smoke had to go first. There we go, much better. You see, that's a bit better. So we got the fire. Targi, right? Remember you from the bridge crew? You actually never said much, or you never really said much. Sheen, yeah, co-pilot. I was supposed to double check the pilot's vectors and then the shuttle's dot. Unfortunately, you know, you were kind of in cryostasis when this happened, so. Lucy looks out the window at a distant, smoldering wreckage. Her face in an expressionless mask. What do you say? Lucy, I don't think the shuttle piloting is going to be a major occupation in time soon. Oh, unless there's a shuttle there. And over there is still somehow remaining intact, which is entirely possible. I've seen weirder things happen and heard weirder stories, so yeah. Alright, now let's go check on the captain, because we might need the captain in a time like this. Just saying, a pilot. We still might need a pilot in a time like this, but let's go check on the captain first. I have a feeling we could do all three. So that would... Oh, wait. No, let's read that first. The power is going to the captain's capsule. The door is locked shut, and her bio readouts are black. By itself, that would be a minor medical emergency, but it's obvious from the outside that conductive cryo solution has received a massive electrical discharge. The ruined blackened mess of the captain's eyes may be... I say that all that needs to be said. Yeah, that's unfortunate. There goes the captain. Shin. Not quite sure which one to say. Darn. I don't think there's anything we can do for her. Shin. We could have really used someone to command Shu. I think Shu. Shu. I'm trying to pronounce Shi and Ju. Shu. Shin. I'm just going to say Shin. Would know what to do, yeah. Let me see. I don't think so, but they put too many redundant systems on Nexus. It shouldn't be possible to crash her. There's no procedure for this. I think fate, really. Might as well call it Titanic. I was going to say that, because that is exactly what, what the Titanic did. Not that they were, because the Titanic, not that they were breaking any laws, but the laws didn't, the laws weren't meant for a catastrophe of that magnitude. They weren't meant to have a ship sink that quickly, of that size and that durability. Therefore, it's exactly what happened to this ship. Shin frowns and turns his attention to the viewport again, where distant figures of EVA suits are beginning to emerge from the light pods, which managed to line up right. Well, that's good. Shin, are you always this cheerful? Lucy, only when I wake up from cryo sleep to find all my plans for the future half buried inside some unknown planet and also on fire. Well, yeah. Lucy, let's take a look at the pilot. I got a bad feeling in me too. I could just be, sleeping. Entirely possible. Or not. Nope. Much like the captain, the pilot's capsule hasn't opened, and his body readouts are black. More telling is the large crack in his capsule window, which drips a steady trickle of crash solution. The droplets simulate into vapor before they even hit the floor. The pilot's desiccated head is sticking up above the solution surface, steaming as it thaws. Great. Let's see. Dead. Too bad. I kind of liked him. Great. Chin. What a horrible way to go. That could have been us, yeah. Let's see. It wasn't. Let's leave it at that. Or let's leave it at that. Shin. I know. I read your file, but I didn't mention much apart from you being the navigator on Nexus. Lucy. Right now, I'm Lucy Carver. Navigator of exactly nothing, and neither of us have the time for small talk. Yeah. Lucy takes one last look at the damaged cryo capsules. Anyone else alive? Lucy. That settles that. We won't find any help here. There are other survivors out there. Or Shin. There are other survivors out there. We should put on our suits and see about getting them organized. Yeah. You see. Yes, I think you should. You? Shin? I'm gonna need your help. Yeah, kinda. You see, manage. I got some things to take care of. Okay, like making sure this capsule does not explode spontaneously, or you can use it as a base, because, well, this ship's not much of a base anymore, is it? Then you really aren't concerned about much, are you? Don't you have anyone else you can care about on the ship? Lucy, my son Michael. Or Mitchell, depending. Actually, I know there's a difference between Mitchell and Michael. It's how A and E are, which that would indeed be Michael. I would assume. So yeah. Head the mic. Alright, my son Michael. The first thing I did was look for his pod. It's upside down, half a mile away. That's where I'm going next. And I won't recommend trying to stop me. Good luck. Shin. And if he is alive, where are you going to take him? If we don't recover something resembling a habitat module from the ship and get set up, he will not air and die within a day. Well, true. Like I was just saying. Lucy. Oh, I was saying use this pod, but apparently you got other pods for that are inside the ship. Lucy. I see your point. Us two all being left of the command crew, I guess that makes the survivors a responsibility. Yep. Alright, Taggy, let's go. Before we go. Not on, not in the high 40s, thank you very much. Well, then, nope. Yeah, this could be a little better. Could be a whole lot worse, too. Okay, safe. Don't go to main, go return. Put on EVA suits and leave. Alright. What do we got? Oh, wow. Nixus lies in pieces with a swab of destruction miles long. Looking at the broken remains of her nose, you can see dozens of fires belching smoke into the atmosphere. And a few other survivors mill around in the distance, confused and rudderless. A constant squealing hiss of the radar interference plays from your receiver. There's little to do but pick up a direction and start walking. Yeah. Well, we know where Nixus crashed, more or less, judging by the gigantic smoke. Or at least okay, maybe we don't know where the actual body of the Nixus is. We know where the nose is, but yeah. You can find it. Easy. Lucy. Jesus. Chin. It's a lot worse when you're not looking at it through a window, huh? Lucy, you could say that. What's the air like? Shin. According to the analyzer, what do you got? You can hardly call it air at all. All nitrogen, methane, argon, and helium. In that order, oxygen, ozone, and carbon dioxide barely register. We're going to have a hard time pulling anything breathable from this atmosphere. There wouldn't... I guess there wouldn't be ice laying around, would there? Hopefully there might be, or... Actually... Oh, am I kidding? Oh, yeah, waters made out. Never mind. Okay, never mind. I go over through my head again. Happens to me sometimes. Alright. Well, let's see. One step at a time, Taking. Shin. Hey, what's that? Shin points to a red cargo container a few hundred yards away. Yeah, rough landing, carving a deep furrow in the ground over half mile long. And it's come to rest a pronounced ankle. You notice distant flashes of movement on top of it. Glimpses of an orange aviation digging and hauling away something with a pry bar. Okay. Shin. Hey, you on that crate. I mean, you have to all be friends here, right? I'm sure using the radio. You got no oxygen here, so yes, use the radio. Which, you know, it's interesting how fires are burning, but then again, they could... The things that are burning fire could have contained oxygen anyway. In response, the squat, brown, shoulder figure keeps on digging away at the container, presumably trying to get it open. The radio just squeals when you try to hunt for a better frequency. Oh, great. You say, I don't think he can hear you. This planet doesn't really like the radio. Oh, this planet really doesn't like the radio. Well, yeah. Shin. Let's get closer and get his attention. Alright? Bass. Shh. You open up. We need... Shh. I think that's what that is supposed to be. As you approach, your voice begins to resolve to the static, hurling a vicious stream of inductive at the container. Alright. I'm not quite sure I can approach that. But anyway, at the container, the figure's movements become more and more violent. Shin, can you help you with something? There we go. Pass. Finally, I don't care who you are. Just come up here and help me get this jerk open. Let's ask the obvious question if it wasn't obvious by the fact that if it wasn't obvious by the fact that, actually, that's a quick save. If it wasn't obvious by the fact that, we kind of, the dialogue gives it away. Sure, let's get his name. What's your name? Lucy. And who might you be? The man draws himself up into full, though unimpressive height and glares down at you from inside the container. Fast. Mechanic Mate Basin Hicks, ranking member of what's left of the engineering crew. Do you really need to shake hands and share coffee and biscuits to crowbar up a bent door? Yes. Okay, so now second obvious question. What are you doing? Shin. What's it that's so important? Bass. One of the ship's exploration rovers. That's what. We want to get started saving whoever is still breathing. We're gonna need wheels. Yep, that's a good idea. Alright, go over there and help. We'll climb up there and help. Lucy shares a look with Shin, then shrugs. Lucy, we're coming up. Alright, so this will be... so either this will be pointless because the module won't be able to get open, or we're going to get a rover and then it'll be great. Alright, but anyway, despite the thick fabric of your EVA suit, the climbing isn't difficult. The metal sides offer plenty of handholds to get up in a gentle Mars-like gravity. Pass waits by the edge to help you up. Alright, he's friendly. I mean, he is part of the engineering crew after all. Pass. Sorry if I'm a little stressed out right now. I'm over my head here. Command's not really my thing, and I'm the senior officer of what's left of my crew, all four of them. Getting some gear out was all I could think to do. Yeah, good idea. Shin. Well, you got good instinct. We're going to need a lot of equipment in a hurry. Where are your men? Bass. I sent them to some of the other containers, grabbing what we can. Try to recruit some more bodies from other life pods along the way, but I think they're all there too shell-shocked to even walk straight. Oh, well, yeah, if they're not part of the crew, if they're civilians, then that would be bad. I can completely understand. I mean, even if they're part of the crew. And that would be the text sounds. Or that'd be the speech sounds, I think. Bass returns to his plant bar stuck in a small gap between two shutter plates and leans with his full weight against it. He beckons you over to help. The three of you together manage to run in the crack and then bend the plate far enough to make a hole. Alright. Reaching inside, Bass fumbles around, then yanks the emergency door release with a triumphant roar. Various locks disengage with a mechanical shutter. After that, it's still play to get the rest of the shutter open and reveal the slightly battered rover inside. Its support equipment has been thrown around, but looks equally intact. Alright. Made this stuff to last. Also made the crate to last. Let's see. She's a bit scuffed up, but I bet she'll still run, indeed. That's, she'll run. She'll run. Just leave it to me. Indeed, I would think you'll be able to get it working. Give me 20 or 30 minutes and I'll have her out and rolling like new. Alright, but how much oxygen do we have? How long will oxygen last in these suits? Also, of course, the container has oxygen inside it, which is entirely possible, or maybe there's another place we can relax. Because our original pod, well, that is what, 300 years away? Shin. That's an awfully long time to wait in a crisis. Indeed, that's what I was saying. Here's a good question: do we go now and cover less ground by get started early, or do we wait for Bass to finish repairs and wait 30 minutes, and then go? Like I said, this game does have multiple endings, so yeah. Oh, hey, my mouse cursor disappeared. Okay, so it disappears when you're not using it. That's interesting. That's good. Yeah, since walking will use up more oxygen than standing, we might waste oxygen, so we won't be able to get further. So yeah, wait for Bass to finish repairs. Boss comes to help, and Minnie ends soon to the rover wearing the life. Its dusty headlamps and first friendly it's dusty headlamps, the first friendly light you've seen since you woke up. Oh yeah. Isn't that joyful sight? Indeed it is. Shin, I can stand to look at it more. Let's see. I'll bring the champagne if we had any, shall we? Indeed, let's go. All together, you mount the rover, Bass in the driver's seat, and Shin, or Sean, I'm quite sure. Oh, isn't Sean spelled A-U-N? Now that I was thinking about it, I think it is. So that is indeed Shin, or at least I hope so. Anyway, hanging on to the back, one touch to accelerator sees it whizzing across the orange sands. All right. Oh, it's one of those rovers. Oh, great! I thought we could oxygen from the Blade thing. One of these newfangled Mars rovers the NASA came up with. Alright, there are a number of cargo containers in this area, both damaged and intact, but only a few big enough to contain one of the colony's modules. Two stand out in particular, one slightly crashed and half its landing gear torn off, and the other on the dune have a previous angle still intact. Another large container lies some distance behind them, but even you can see the cracks in its housing and the thin white trail of smoke builds out of it. Off to the right, there's visible activity at a landed life pod not far away. Let's see. Spoil it for choice. I have a feeling that we can only pick one and then we go on different paths from now on. Although we could also pick one and go back and pick another. Entirely possible. Just gonna quick save. Oh, this game not doing anything? Yeah. I was just, oh, well, that's time, but we're going overtime as we haven't got any action yet. Besides, well, the obvious visual novel action, which is a really good visual novel, by the way. I mean, if you don't want these, you know, if you don't want to get it for the survival aspect and the colony management and base building aspect, get it for the visual novel. It's a really good one. All right. You know what? They could use it. They might need help. So go to the life pod. Ah, looks like it could be a habitation module of some type. An odd atmosphere of malaise hangs over the survivors at the life pod. Some haven't even stepped outside. They just stand or sit in front of the viewport, staring out into nothing. The shock of the crash has hit people deeply. It's not hard to understand why they might have lost hope when you look back at the ruins of the Exodus and dozens of bodies scattered around, some burnt, some bloody, all motionless and quiet. Yeah. You know, and also you're on an unknown planet. That's not worse, and doesn't even have oxygen. The lousy piece of rock. The lousy piece of something. The lousy thing made out of rocks. There you go, that's better. Still, a group of about 6 people have marshaled themselves in front of the pod and are taking stock of supplies. And they're taking stock of supplies. They have spare oxygen containers, rations, basic tools, and duffel bags full of personal effects. The inventory looks almost done, as they're storing most of the stuff neatly into their original crates. All right, this guy's got the idea, and you know it's a place to refill our oxygen, and to be a base so we can go check out the containers. They all turn and look at you when you're in their radio range. One steps forward, who seems to be their leader, a short, lean woman with an undeniable air of authority. She waves a cursory salute at you. Hi. Alright. Mr. Romtinson, Morn Officer Extra Security, and yourselves? Well, you got co-pilot and navigator. Very nice wheels, by the way. Thank you. We got the head mechanic here. Best thanks a lot, TLC, and she's right of rain. Lucy. I'm Lucy Carpenter, navigator, and this is co-pilot Shintaki, and oh, by the way, I'm the line there of the game. Bass coughs politely. Lucy. And of course, mechanic's mate, Mr. Hicks, over there. Over here. Alright, you're with the command crew. I saw your pad crackling on the way down. Where's the captain? Well, she is kind of... Well, how do I put this? Lucy, she didn't make it. Then thank you. Mary. Not Volux. I guess that means you two on command now. I guess it would be that, yes. Shin. Us two? Navigator. I read that first. Mary. Navigator and co-pilot are equal in ranks. Believe me on that. I studied the mission rigs for hours to get this job. Or, by rigs, I guess, requirements. Mary clears her throat and awkwardly scratches the back of her helmet to no effect. Mary. That may turn out to be a mistake. Shin, we can worry about the Shin Command later. Right now, we're all in this together. And priority 1 is to find a habit module. But we won't last long without big oxygen scrubbers and a place to stay, indeed. Let's see. Can these people take orders? Mary. They can. A couple of them are security deputies. I worked with them for a little bit before we went into cryo. They seem solid. I don't know the others, but I can keep them motivated. Alright. Mary, you want us to help look for the habitat? Shin, please. We got a lot of ground to cover, even with the rover. Mary, can't think of a better plan. I'll come with you. All right. There we go. There. Get that off screen. It doesn't seem like you get anything in the matter. The Master of Arms turns on her heel and shouts orders at her deputies to form two distinct search parties. Within minutes are off doing their new jobs. Wow, he's good. Next, Design goes to one of the crates of personal effects and opens a specific duffel, and takes out the sleek black shape holster pistol. It hooks neatly onto her suit's belt. She quickly removes the magazine to check the ammunition and slaps it back into place. I see his magazine. Do we need that gun out here? You know, unless there could be aliens, but I highly doubt it. And there could be, you know, people there could be other survivors that don't like us, but I highly doubt it. You know, if it makes you feel better, you can have the pistol. Also, do you know the pistol will work in this environment? Actually, I would assume it would. Because I'm pretty much she would get a pistol that would work in any environment, no matter what. Mary, consider me your bodyguard in case things get ugly. Alright. Shin, do you not really think that'll be necessary? Mary, listen, I'm glad to see some of you survived. I really don't want command. The bad news is, when other people find out, they'll look to you for answers. Yeah. Where are we? Why? What caused the crash? What do we do now? They're in shock right now. Pretty soon they'll turn angry. If I were you, I'll start thinking about what to tell them. Well, yeah. And in the meantime, you got me to back you up. Alright. So, where are we going next? Well, we're going to the slightly crashed crate. Oh, I didn't think that was... I forgot that was actually what it's called. I was just picking something up, but okay. Go to the slightly crashed container. Well, I did say crate instead of container. Okay, well, what's in here? It's a short drive to the site where the slightly crashed container squats like a giant oblong lump. Half the landing gear is in ruins, torn, twisted metal and wire decorate the part where it hit the ground. However, the damage appears mostly superficial. There's no visual sign of the cargo being hurt. I assume so. I mean, if it landed good enough for some of the landing gear to survive, I mean, it probably landed at an angle. And broke the front landing gear, but you know, you saw how the rover survived pretty easily. Therefore, I think these containers are much better than what the game might want you to think. Control panel lights up when pressed. It blinks on and off. Door jam detected. Please use emergency wrench. Well, we'll get past here. Lucy. Guess I don't mind a bit of wrenching it. I'm wrenching if the stuff is okay. Receive panel comes to open with relative ease. Kicking the wrench into motion is more of a challenge. But with enough violence, you manage to get it started, and the shutter comes open to reveal that. Let's see. I know it's a module, but what exactly does it do? Shin, that's the next question. Yes. What you're looking at, boss, is the mining module. Appears being pristine condition. Doesn't do us any good now. But we can find some semblance of a colony setup. But if we can get some semblance of a colony setup, we can actually use it to mine stuff if we need to, which we do. Lucy, that's less useful than I was hoping. Shin, we'll come back for it later. Yeah. I guess it's the other one, which would be... Which one is even on the screen? I mean, this was the screen showing up the broken nose, so yeah, I would say that. Alright, again. I kind of want to do some more. Actually, we are out of time. We're even out of overtime. I'm saying there's going to be some action, so we're just in it here. Alright, so then I'll make another video right after this, hopefully showing some gameplay. I mean, that's the thing of visual novel games. I say visual novel games as if there's any other kind of visual novel. But to some people there are, and there are games like this where basically they have, they have some sort of other game thrown in, whether it be a strategy game, whether it be a strategy game, which is the most common, a vehicle flying game, which I know of only one, or a game like this, which is a survival simulator base colony game or base management game, base management and creator game. So yeah, so I'll be I'll end it here and then make another video and then we'll continue. All right, so that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. It means a lot to me. Well, it's not to me to leave a comment to me if you want me to make the series of that, which I will gladly do. But we'll see. I probably will end up doing a series on it, but whether or not it'll be a Monday series or mainstay series, we'll see, depending on how popular it is. Alright, so also appreciate tips on how to play the next world. In general, no tip seems coming to be a general tip. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. And I guess going to my first impressions are really good. Like, the only real flaw I see in this game is the save system. It's kind of bad. I mean, because here's my mouse. Most visual novels and games like this have a big list of saves you can go to. Even if there are like 10 things and you gotta press a button to go to another 10 things. Or maybe it's scrolling, but none of them are just one save at a time, which probably means they weren't intending this to be more of a visual novel game, or more catered to visual novel players, but maybe to just be more of a survival game, kind of like the War of Human Tanks, because War of Human Tanks caters to any strategy player, and it caters to them pretty well. However, also caters to visual novel players, but they cater mostly to non-visual novel players. But this easily can, easily can cater to most, but I know because we haven't actually gameplay yet, but right now it caters very well to visual novel people, because this has actually been one of the best visual novels I have played. Sure, it's not as shiny as, let's say, The Letter or The Seer Ops. However, it has its charm of its own. It's a more basic visual novel. Like, there's not that many effects on the screen. Basically, it's just, you have person here, person here, art changes because smiling, person here stays on screen for all the entire time. You get the idea. And then changing of backgrounds. But I've seen some visual novels where the backgrounds don't like to change as much, or the art's pretty bad. But other in this game, well, it's unique. It's not like it's not like any other visual novel I play, which is a good thing. Because, a lot of visual novels kind of look the same, or they fall into different categories of art. This is pretty good art, and it doesn't fall in those categories, so pretty much, so yeah. Alright, so I say it's pretty good. Alright, and actually, this visual novel is not, it's not like, most visual novels, are catering to more of an anime crowd. However, this one does not. It doesn't, it has no relation to anime at all, I don't think. Or at least if it has a relation to anime, it has a relation to anime that appeals to general audiences, as opposed to just anime that appeals to anime people. So, yeah. I mean, example, this is more of like a Mobile Suit Gundam than a Mobile Suit Gundam Ghost in the Shell, as opposed to, let's say, like Naruto or anything like that. Naruto, Bleach, what's the other one? Fairy Tail, you get the idea. Which I like. And also you got Ruby, which caters to both, but that's not using hand-drawn art, is it? It's using CGI, which is just like counting what I'm trying to say. Alright, but anyway, so, yeah, that'd be it for this video, and I guess, is it worth $12? Is it worth $20? At least for visual novel aspect, it is. I'm not quite sure how long the game is, but if the gameplay, it is repeatable, as in if it's randomized, it surely is worth $12. I mean, even if it's like let's say, even if it's like a 5-hour game, around 5 hours, which is a short game for me, it will still be worth $12 just for the quality and different routes you can take in the visual novel aspect. So, yeah, it is worth $12. Alright, but anyway, like I said, that'd be it for this video, and I guess, see you in a second.